All right, welcome, folks. Spycraft Monkey here. This is going to be your monkey sit rep. Almost said it. It is not your monkey minute. It is your sit rep for Monday, November 8th, 2021, coming to you from the great state of Texas. It's about 6:30 p.m. Central Time here. And without further ado, let's hop on over to our board. We're currently sitting at about 167 up. That seems to be about the average number this time of day. Couple items of interest. I did see that Night Watch, Gordo 16, actually took a little departure down to, looks like he was hanging out over the Gulf, did a little bit of routing down there, and then back up. Now, that is basically your doomsday plane. So there is that one. It looks pretty light. Now, one thing I am noticing here is, let me get over here by type codes. I do want to kind of, let me hit filter and see what our number is looking like. Les Gordo, 28 right now. And I just noticed we got a pretty big batch up here in Washington State, and then Northeast again. A lot of activity on with these H60s up as of late. So we'll keep an eye on that, see if that number goes up or down. But you can see that's been going on here for a couple weeks now. So I suspect it is tied to human trafficking, if I had to guess, but let's see. The news will tell here soon enough. That is for sure. Now, I'm not seeing the activity that supports that headed down to the spa like we did before, but that could be because it is at capacity. So who knows? That is merely speculation. But let's hop over here real fast to the volcanoes. Things are just hopping. This one up here in Alaska is just killing it. I mean, that is a massive ash cloud. I mean, the distance. I mean, here, let's just kind of size this up. If you look at the length on that ash cloud and then look at the length on Alaska, the state of Alaska, which is massive. That thing's bigger than Texas, probably all the way across. Hawaiian Islands are right down here. And so this is another day of this thing spewing. This one down here, Ibu, and I think that is down in Indonesia kind of area. Is also popping off. That's new. We've got 9 if you count these 6 running from Mexico. Actually, that's Central America all the way down to South America. These are pretty consistent. Pretty wild to see. And then La Palma, no letting up from that bad dude. Okay, so there is that. Let's get over here to Flashbang real fast. I want to take a look at his schedule for today. Now, it looks like he was over here hanging out at the beach in Delaware. And I would imagine, let's see here, and then this afternoon he was giving a congrats to the Milwaukee Bucks because that is important to do. And then let's see here if we got anything else. They arrived around 9:40 a.m. So I did see that the Transportation Secretary is incompetent, but I guess he had a speech to make. Let's see how he's doing. So remember, they put $540 billion into the supply chain here in the U.S. a couple weeks ago. And let's see, has it improved anything? Now, these are off the coast. These are the cargo ships only parked off the coast of Los Angeles for Long Beach and Los Angeles ports. And I would say it's actually gone up, not down. If you get into here, look at this. What a cluster. I mean, and I mean that in a let's go Brandon kind of fashion, okay? But look at all these boats. These are anchored. That is, I bet there's 250,000 containers between all of these. This is just insane. So like I said before about the jellyfishing, the problem has actually gotten worse and not better. And so there you have it. That is because they're completely incompetent, and that is what you would expect to come from this administration. So on that same note, speaking of incompetency, check this out. So this was a poll by USA Today on the Biden and the Harris job approval ratings. 38%. That's the approval rating. 38% and 28% by Harris. So, folks, this thing is just the bottom hasn't even hit yet. I thought he was Mr. October, but I think he's going to outdo himself in November. I wouldn't be surprised to see this dude down in the single digits at the rate this thing is going right now. He is a flop and a half, and so really bad for this country. So on that same note, let's get over here as we talk about flops. See what we got going on here in terms of TFRs. Now, this is looks like we got some security ones out here in New Mexico. We're going to look closer at that in just a minute. These are all space operations along the Gulf Coast, and then this one is over Cape Canaveral in the old stomping grounds there. And then these are also space operations related. Okay, so we kind of get in a little closer. Now there is that little red one for security, but there is that. So it looks like they're going to be go for a launch here pretty soon. And then Warner Robins security up there over the base area. That is still an air show, or sorry, no, that is a. Let me just double check that. Yeah, air show. Okay. And then let's see. This is going to be your permanent TFR over the Flashbang Residence, aka the Senior Living Center. Then we get over here to New Mexico, and this is the National Forest. Really interesting. I'm not sure what's going on. This is White Sands, and I will tell you they have a sea of poppies out here at Holloman Air Force Base, but this is not related, and I don't know what this is related to. We see that from time to time, but this is a security TFR, not a space operations. And then this one, let's just double check what that is right there. Security, same thing. So typically you would see if it's White Sands testing, it's over the White Sands in that general area, and it's space operations. So I don't know what that is over the forest. I just find it interesting to have a security TFR over the forest. We've seen that before. Don't know. It could be a Branson launch or something along those lines. Looks like we got a monster of a storm rolling into the West Coast, which is much needed rain, and you'll notice our fireboxes are starting to go out, so that's a good thing. Okay. All right, let me minimize this bad dude, and let's get over to a couple of items of interest here. So this one I want to point out. I caught these early this morning, and I just kind of froze them on my screen. Now this is Spyglass. This is my favorite tool because it just, you can find nuggets like this that you can't find on other platforms. And so, but these three birds right here, and right here they are actually balloons, I believe. They just sit. They're not moving at 0 knots. This one's at 85,000 feet. This one's at 80,000 feet. And this one is at 70,000 feet. Now, from here, it looks like they're over Canada. I will tell you, this one right here is over Crescent, Oklahoma. This one right here is over Baxter Springs, Kansas. And this one is over, let me just double check. That is Baxter Springs. Double check. Okay, this one is Baxter Springs. And this one is... Oh, they're both. Yeah, right on top of each other. One's at, there's a 10,000 foot separation between these two. I do find it interesting that all three have different icons, and I don't know why. Okay. If they're just different types of balloons, or these would be, I don't know, are they loon balloons or what's going on? But that, folks, you're talking 85,000 feet. That is up there. But these are spy balloons. Okay. And so, our government is continuing to spy on us. Now, I don't know what the reach is for these at 85,000 feet, how far out these things go, but I will tell you they are gathering data 100%, okay? And they got 3 of them. Now, if you remember, over Europe, we had 4 or 5 of them doing the exact same thing. So governments around the world are certainly watching all of us, okay? All right, now let me hit refresh and burn on this. I want to pull up. Let me get into that, and I just want to see real fast what our numbers are relative to everything up currently. All right, now you can still see. So the pink planes, like I'd mentioned before, the pink aircraft are going to be, these are folks that don't want to be tracked. Okay, I guess that's the only way you can really sum it up. All right, if you see a little green triangle, that bad dude is climbing. If you see a little blue triangle underneath the shape, that bad brother is level. All right. And if you see a red triangle, that one is on the descent. Okay. So like, for example, right here, you can see that one is red. And that's because that plane is actually descending. All right. From 24,400 feet. And so there you have that. All right. Really interesting though. Notice our loon balloons aren't showing right now. If that's what they are. Okay. All right, off the East Coast, let's see what we got. Anything interesting? Now, I don't see anything. We were looking just a minute ago over here at our TFRs. Let me get down here into Tampa area, see if we got any TFRs. We do not. Now, reason I say that is because Trump is there this evening giving a talk to, I think, the Republican National Committee or something along those lines. So you can see no preferential treatment. He's got no top cover. All right. So there is that. Now let me get over to our list real fast. I just want to see kind of what the spread is as we pull these up. Let's see here. And we'll go by type. So yeah, that H60 number is looking pretty heavy. 23 on this map, okay, and then H64 we got 2. Let's see what other helos we have up that are grabbing. EC45s, that's gonna be trainers. I'm not too concerned about that. Well, may not be trainers. There's 3 of those up because they do fly those on other things too. But yeah, do have an A10 up. That's kind of interesting. And then we got 13 NAs. Those are folks that don't want to be seen. All right. Okay, let me back away from this. Step away. All right. Now, Top Cat, I just want to point this out. This was actually this morning. This thing was flying around. Actually, this is Sunday. Sorry, this is yesterday. This is Top Cat. Now, remember, Flashbang was up here hanging out on the beach. And so that is an R135 Top Cat call sign. And looks like he was running some routes in this general area, grabbing some data. I'm 100% confident we had fighters up again over this weekend as well. So seems to be the theme. That guy is afraid of his own shadow, I would imagine. Can't get out of your own way, I guess. So I don't know. I'm telling you, as long as he's in there, we need to all be sleeping with one eye open, because I can tell you our enemies are probably just licking their chops right now because we are so vulnerable. So all right, this is going to be Fort Bliss. One of the flights rolled out of here. This is actually Gray 44. If you remember the other day, I was showing you this little beach aircraft that it had like 1 million antennas hanging off of it. Well, it's basically a intelligence bird, okay? And so it is out there collecting data. And so when this thing's flying around, these little tight circles like this are probably going to be a runway, if I had to guess. Maybe not. Typically you'd see a little pattern like that for landing, taking off, touch and goes, but maybe not. So it looks like he's out gathering some data around El Paso, which is, it's good, given the fact that we've got a sea of poppies in and out of that location, as well as 100 other immigrants coming into or tens of thousands, sorry, immigrants coming into that location. So okay, so there's that. We were looking at it on Friday again. It was out there near Phoenix. I think it went out to California and came back. Okay, Gray 44. We'll continue to watch that one because it's again, it's a fascinating bird. It's been modified a gazillion times, and it's pretty cool. So okay, this is going to be U.S. Transportation Command CMB 181. Just want to point out where that one was headed on Sunday. That bad dude was in over in Italy, and then it flew over to Bahrain, and so it is currently there in Bahrain. More than likely, this bad dude is picking up some folks, if I had to guess, okay, bringing them back to the States. And so that is still ongoing. I know we don't hear anything about it in the news. It's not people that are actively, we're not flying into Afghanistan and picking them up. These are people that were moved out to various locations in the panic that took place. And we're still bringing them in just because we're processing them into our country. And as our camps get clear on this side, they are, basically refilling the seats. So I guess you call that a warm seat swap, right? So this is the other one. It rolled out of Fort Bliss, headed over to Iceland. That was today, actually. And so you will probably see this one go from Iceland on across the drink. It looks like it stopped there for some reason. Okay, probably a fuel stop if I had to guess, because that is a pretty long distance to there. Although I'm sure it's a 767-300. That's an extended range, more than likely ER, what they call ETOPS, engines turn or people swim. But that is a Boeing 767 wide body. Definitely has the gas to get across the drink. So probably just crew rest or something. So, but there it is. It's in Iceland. Okay. Now we get over here to Swift Air, where it started to kind of mellow out a little bit this evening. Now, this morning when I popped onto this, almost all of their planes were down here in south of the border. I mean, there's probably 9 of them, all down between Mexico, Guatemala, just all over the place. So looks like now they're back up here, although you do have this one, 737-400 coming out of Alexandria, 72-hour holding facility. headed back into down to Border Town, which is going to be Valley. Now it'll be interesting to see if they're picking folks up and or dropping them off. So, okay, there is that. That's going to be your Swift Airs. Okay, now let's get into the meat of it and look at Biggs Army Airfield and see what we had arriving today and departing today. And so Volk, now this one is Camp Douglas up in Wisconsin, has been very quiet for a couple weeks now, but it looks like we're starting to see some activity, a little bit of life in there. I don't know if they've processed everybody out, and we're just starting to see some rotation. But we'll see that start to happen because they put, you're talking probably a total of 110, 120,000 people when it's all said and done that are being moved around. So you're going to see a lot of movement because most of these airplanes are carrying 200-300 people tops. Okay. And so unless you're getting into C-17s, but this one arrived, this is going to be Sierra Pacific. That's going to be little 737-500 coming in from Wisconsin. And then you had another one that's Omni Air. Now that's a wide body 767-300 that came in from Fort Worth Alliance. Now let's see where they went. So it looks like Sierra Pacific went to Tucson, Arizona from there. And then this one is that transportation one we just looked at that rolled out of here and went to Iceland. Okay. Now, the one we want to watch is this one, who looks like it's headed back to Baltimore, Washington. So BWI, and that's a scheduled departure for 5:45 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So there is that. Okay. So more than likely that thing's going to round robin and be taking some folks back. Okay. All right. Let's get over here to SVN. This is going to be Hunter, Savannah, Georgia. Hunter Army Airfield. Let's see if we got anything on the board. Not seeing anything. Normally we see some Southwest flights, but let me just bump in, see if we got anything over the weekend. There's all Mondays, getting into Sunday. Nope, got nothing. So it looks like Hunter Army Airfield in Savannah is pretty much stagnant at the moment. Okay. Let me just double check something here over on Biggs. I do want to see what we had over the weekend, because this is, when we're looking at that board, that's the arrival board for today. So over the weekend, we had one come in from Eastern Airlines from Cherry Point. That was on Sunday. Baltimore, that's a big one right there. So that's Atlas Air 767-300 coming out of Baltimore, Washington. So that was on Saturday. Note the flight time. Now remember, we're talking about how they're moving people in the middle of the night. That flight departed Baltimore, Washington at 2:19 a.m. in the morning and arrived at Biggs at just before 4 a.m., 3:57 a.m. And that is going to be, that's one of your Atlas Airs. Okay, it's a big bird. So yeah, they are definitely sneaking some folks around. It'd be really interesting to see what the data points are on these, like who's on that one. That, I'm suspecting that is Poppy's coming in. Okay, all right, and then there's your Omni Air coming out of Fort Worth Alliance. And that is, again, after midnight. Look at that, 12:27 a.m. So, okay, there is that. All right, let's get back over here. That was Hunter. We were talking about Volk earlier, so let's see if we got anything. There's that spa flight coming in from Tucson, and then it rolled out of there and went to Biggs. So, more than likely, this is just pushing folks around, all right, doing the shuffle. Okay, now, just out of curiosity, if we had anything over the weekend. So, yeah, I mean, you can still see this is Friday. This is actually rolling back to Friday. So this is the last 10 days approximately. So, yeah, you can still see we do have a couple flights, Ontario, California, Delta Airlines. So there were a couple. All right. This is going to be Laughlin, Del Rio, and didn't see anything happening there today, but let me bump over here. I just want to see what we missed over the weekend. So nothing. So that's pretty good. Now that came in, that was last Friday. So we're good. We're up to speed on that one. So it looks like Del Rio has kind of chilled out a little bit. Let's see how long that sticks. Now, my understanding too is that the folks that are coming up in the caravan are, I guess they basically had a dengue fever or dengue fever outbreak, which you get that from mosquitoes. And so that slowed the herd down, thinned the herd out a little bit because people were getting sick. Evidently, it's just been running rampant within them. So and so it looks like those have spread out a little bit. I don't know what the latest status is. They got to be getting close though, for sure. And we'll see if the numbers match what we were told they were going to be. So there is that. Now, this is actually going to be a Texas Department of Public Safety. So think about highway patrol, so to speak, coming out of Austin, headed down to Laredo. That was an hour and 52 minutes ago. So it looks like we got some fresh legs coming inbound from that location. And that is, when was that actually? Okay, it's today. Just making sure. All right. Then let's get over here to Eurocopters. I just want to see if we got any fresh activity going on along the border. We do have 3 aircraft up here in that general area. But that one right there is, let me just see what we have. Looking at the call signs on there. Now that 140TX, we just looked at that. That's going to be one of your, here's right here. And that's another, I think that's Highway Patrol. Let me just double check. Yeah, Department of Public Safety. Looks like he's running up to El Paso right now. So there is that. All right. So maybe we're starting to see, we'll see what happens here. Laredo, El Paso. Let's see if we get anything going on. He actually looks like he came out of Alpine, and that's Marfa right there. I don't know if you're familiar with the Marfa lights. But that's the location where you can actually go out and see. It's just some weird phenomenon where the lights actually pop up. It look like they think they're gas release or something on the horizon, like UFOs. They're pretty wild. But it happens almost every evening. So pretty cool out there. Like I said, not too much there. So let's go C-101. This is going to be our deputy commander or I say commander or deputy director or the director, one or the other, C-101. Of Homeland Security. Looks like he was up there in Connecticut, the land of Durham, and back down to D.C., and that was actually 6 hours, 11 minutes ago. So maybe we're going to get see a little brake traction on this Durham stuff. Seems like we're starting to see some bigger names drop, and the noose is slowly tightening. Be honest with you, it couldn't tighten fast enough for me, but this could have happened 3 years ago, and it wouldn't have been fast enough. So but maybe eventually we will see some justice. So, all right. Speaking of justice, let's get over here to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. And been very, very quiet. Now, we do have an active trial going on right now. So we bump into the arrivals. Looks like for tomorrow, that's our normal Tuesday flight coming inbound tomorrow. But if we back up, let's just kind of look at the weekend. We did have an Eastern Airlines flight come in from Joint Base Andrews. That more than likely is going to be press, if I had to guess, and or jury pool, or probably press, if I had to guess. Okay. And that is for those big trials going on. Okay. And that is with the Shaka Khan. All right. So there is that. That's Guantanamo Bay. Now let's get over here to some of our agency birds that we see float in and out of Guantanamo Bay pretty regularly. 301 AZ, that bad dude started out in Stuart, Florida, and rolled out to the St. Simons Island in Georgia, and that was yesterday, okay? And prior to that, he was down in Savannah, Hilton Head, and then was kind of buzzing around there all the way down in Orlando. So I don't know that one's actively engaged in anything Guantanamo Bay related, but when the White Hats do get re-engaged, we kind of have a little bit of back history on it, see if any of those apply to what we're seeing in the news. Okay, 302 AZ, this is a sister ship of that one, was over in Boca. Looked like it flew out to Pueblo, Colorado. Actually, it's scheduled to fly out to Pueblo, so it hasn't left yet. That's 7:50 p.m. That's departing here pretty quickly. And there's that. Now, it was out here in Minnesota on Friday, all right, and then back to Lauderdale. Okay. There is that. And then this is going to be our Phoenix Air. Now, this is showing under 853. I don't know. I think this is going to be probably our N183 PA. If I had to guess, from a tail number perspective, a little G3 Gulfstream. But that one is coming back inbound now. It left Stuttgart in the wee hours of the morning over in Germany, flew to Iceland, probably fueled up, and then flew into Bangor, Maine, and then on down to Cartersville. That's home base operations, okay? There is that. All right, now I'm going to bounce back over here to global ADSB exchange and pray that it works, because like I said, it has not been working well for me as of the last couple times. It's locking up, getting a lot of that. So I don't know if anybody else is using it and having the same issues. I'm going to jump over here to Spyglass because ain't nobody got time for that. So, all right, so let's just take a little gander. I'm going to go just from straight up top to see if we've got anything. Bump our list away here just for a minute and see if we got anything of substance that's catching my eye. Florida, again, you got Trump is down here in Tampa this evening. I don't see really any air activity over the Tampa Bay area. We do have some stuff over here in the Palm Beach area, Cocoa Beach in general. And let's see, getting a lot of Navy birds that are flying around. Look like they're going across the drink a lot, like more than usual. Typically don't see too many of the Navy birds heading across the drink, but that looks to be where they're headed. Now, let me do this. I'm just going to bounce straight over to the military aspect of it, do a clean sweep, and then reburn. And then let me see here. Let's go. Brandon. All right. All right, so this is what we're looking at right now, just from a military perspective. So let me get down here over Florida real fast and just see if we've got anything out here looming. So that's going to be a B-350 coming out of South Florida, it looks like, and up to North Carolina. This is all trainer activity for the most part in here. And then let's see, over Texas, same thing here. This is, for the most part, some trainer activity. Now, we did have a couple B-52s. I see they've already landed. They rolled in and out of Barksdale. They were all the way out here off of, I mean, like over Atlanta and back. So don't know what they were up to, but you don't see them breaking out to the East Coast very, very often. And looks like we got an air refueler here. Just took off out of, that looks like kind of Crestview area, if I'm not mistaken. Hard to tell. That may not be accurate. So, let's see, Horseshoe Beach, Florida. So that's where its current location. That's one of the other things. This thing is pretty amazing. Like when you click on it, I can actually go over here to this corner, and it gives me notice like exactly where this thing's flying. So this particular one is over 922 Cheney Road, Decatur, Mississippi. Like that's where that airplane is flying. Like down to, I mean, the fuzz on a flea, man. That is just absolutely crazy. You know, I don't know how necessary it is to have it to that level, but that's what it does. So, but if you want to track, and you know, I mean, doesn't get much more precise than that. So, all right, not seeing. Let me just kind of get a side view here. New Mexico seems to have quite a bit of H-60 helo activity up as well. So. That's in just south of Albuquerque. So, all right. So listen, I'm going to back us up here, and I'm going to see if I can't get over. Let me get over across the drink. I'm really curious to see if we can get over here to Germany. Let me clear some of that. See if we've got high flyers up currently at the moment. Doesn't look like it. But let me hit my favorite list. See if that pulls up anything. That's our regular list. Let me hit my favorites. And we'll see on our watch list here. So, yeah, it looks like we got one that is up there, right there. So, let me button this one up. And let's get down there. They are going to be our guardian angels over. Let's see what their real location is. Oh, little anon there. That's kind of cool. All right, so let's bump in. Now, these are our high flyers. Now, this one's at 62,000 feet, 62,700. Not going anywhere. So this is going to be one of your, almost like a loon balloon. Okay. But that bad dude, I mean, just give you a perspective and see significantly higher than these other aircraft. Okay. But that one right there is over, let's see here, Lower Saxony, Germany. And, this one here is over, really hard to see, Marx. It's in German. I can't, it's Germany. All right. Mark something. Let's see this one here. Nordum Farfernugen. I don't know. That's Germany as well. And then this last one here is also over Germany. So these two seem to be very. Siegelhoff is the other German one. Okay, so give you kind of an idea where they are. Those are spy birds. Okay, just like the ones over the U.S. right now, and so that is really interesting to say the least. They're up around the clock. I'm telling you, they don't go anywhere. They just sit and they are collecting data on the people. So if you're in Germany, just know you got these bad dudes right over your head on a regular basis. So again, most of our other apps aren't going to show these. I would imagine, I'll be honest with you folks, I would imagine there are probably hundreds of these things all around the world because we just don't see them. We're not tracking them. We get lucky because somebody in this general area has antennas that are tied into OpenADSB Exchange that we're able to pull from, and we're actually grabbing these, whereas the other systems are not. Okay, and so pretty spectacular. So good stuff. That's Skyglass for you. So, okay, listen, that is going to be it for our sit rep tonight. So hit that 30-minute mark, and I will see you guys again on Wednesday. For those folks on Patreon, remember tonight we don't do a Q&A. We will be back on Wednesday, and we'll do our Q&A then. So you guys stay frosty out there. God bless. Monkey out. Check out the latest gear and products at monkeyworxus.com.